Welcome to episode 1 of this Leadership in Conservation series. Today, we will help you transition from university to the workplace and unpack what you can expect as you step into your conservation career. Leading us through this topic is Joep Stevens. Joep is a retired tourism general manager at South African national parks with extensive experience in the commercial sector of protected areas. His expertise lie in ensuring that conservation efforts are well-funded and sustainable through strategic tourism and financial models. After watching this video, you will understand what to expect when entering the workforce after graduation, learn how conservation careers are structured and where you can fit in. Okay, let's listen to Joep.
For various reasons, Africa is blessed with the best wild places and wildlife on the planet. And the growth potential for conservation is almost without limit. We have the area with the third highest biodiversity on the globe here on the southern tip of Africa. Many of these places are under protection and management of the state. Protected areas are often as large and nearly as complex as some countries on the continent. Conservation of protected areas is generally a costly business. Protected areas aim to provide access for people to enjoy nature and also in doing so provide the protected area with some form of revenue. Ecotourism is an important imperative of a good conservation business model. Not all protected areas have it though. Generally, ecotourism is optimally operated by either private sector or non-government organizations. In order to assist you to choose a career or further studies, we look into the conservation business model and what the attributes and expectations of the various components are. The key stakeholder grouping in the conservation business model is first and foremost the government or the state. Those of you that are keen to pursue a career there need to be well versed with aspects such as protected area planning, conservation, policy, regulations, and general management. The culture of such institutions is usually mandate-driven and not profit-driven, differing from country to country, and remuneration packages could be disparate to market in some cases. The second important grouping is the private sector. As an important group, I unpack it somewhat in order to ensure that it's adequately understood. Those of you that choose the private sector as a career would be required to be performance-focused and foster qualities such as entrepreneurship and innovation. Private sector is usually profit-driven and highly committed. Could be involved in many ways, whether merely in a supply chain role, as a service provider, or a concession partner in a formal public-private partnership agreement. They usually lead to increased economic activity, as this results in job creation and growth. The benefits of public-private partnerships include the ability to recruit best talent and usually have required institutional capacity in terms of business and project management and have access to market. Very important, the best public-private partnership operators have a sound integrity and reputation. Skills that will facilitate employment in public-private partnership environment include business know-how, finances, human capital, and a sound foundation regarding legal matters. There are several examples of successful public-private partnerships across the continent. Requirements are stringent, but not insurmountable. These requirements include sound business policy based on well-consulted and thought-through business model. The better the planning, the less the chance of major surprises. Impeccable reputation and a sound business record. Use of equitable and sustainable criteria. For example, in the case of a lodge concession, the kilometers of roads allowed or the guest beds would be stipulated as part of the agreement and dictated by the landscape sensitivity. The term of public-private partnership agreement is usually linked to capital investment required. So a large site with no existing infrastructure would require a large investment, and the term would be at least 25 or 30 years. If evaluation or adjudication skills for public-private partnerships are inadequate at state level, these can be contracted on a project basis. Skills required in such instances are due diligence, governance, and transparency. Evaluation criteria during public participation process is usually threefold. First of all, technical know-how, mainly through previous record. Beneficiation criteria, for example, Black economic empowerment. And then thirdly, financial contribution, which is normally based on the margin of turnover and audited books. The third important grouping in the conservation business model are non-government organizations. In many protected areas, they play a huge supplementary role, assisting the state to achieve its mission and vision. In fact, there are several cases where non-government organizations manage protected areas in full on behalf of the state and do so with great success. Non-government organizations are usually self-funded, and in some instances they play a replacement role on behalf of the state. They usually have access to talent, access to funding, in some cases tenfold the funding that the state is able to contribute, and they have resources. The fourth component of conservation business model is the community. They usually either own, live adjacent to, and could be direct or indirect beneficiaries of protected areas. As indicated earlier, conservation business models typically require or are enhanced by additional fields of expertise or services, and these can include rangers, guiding, reservations, human capital, finances, GIS, wildlife management, environmental management and sustainability, marketing, public relations and supply chain, hospitality, transport, including airwing, retail, food and beverage, health spa, nature-based activities, water management, refuse control, risk governance, anti-poaching, security infrastructure, development, etc. Thank you very much for your interest, and I wish you the very best for your conservation career.
There are multiple career paths in conservation, including public, private, and non-profit sectors. Each sector has different expectations, skills, and work cultures. Understanding these will help you find the right fit. Join us in episode 2 as we discover how your early experiences within your family have already prepared you for leadership in the workplace.